to The Tonight Show.
Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert.
Well, it won't be late night for Stephen Colbert or the two Jimmys for a while, with an industry-wide writers' strike leaving the networks with nothing new to roll.
Without these people, this show would be called The Late Show with a guy rambling about the Lord of the Rings and boats for an hour.
I wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for my writers, and I support them all the way.
What the writers are asking for is not unreasonable.
Production has officially ceased at Hollywood studios like Walt Disney Co., Netflix, and 350 others. More than 11,000 writers trading pen for picketing as pay negotiations fail.
We're only asking for less than 2% of the profits they make on our work.
Sort of an existential crisis where we're creating all of this creative product that these companies are making billions of dollars off of.
The Writers Guild says the median writer wage has fallen 23% in the last decade, with half of writers now on minimum wage compared to a third in 2013, as streaming sparks a TV audience exodus, prompting advertisers to go elsewhere.
We're only as good as the writing we get.
Without the page, we have nothing. We have no instruction manual for art.
AI advances also creating concern writers could be replaced with robots.
AI is potentially terrifying, and they should have some sort of regulations to prevent chat from replacing us.
The strike delaying production of shows that typically start scripting this month, like Stranger Things, Abbott Elementary, and Yellow Jackets.
I lost my purpose.
We've left the room and stopped kind of working on season 3, so it's definitely going to delay it for as long as the strike lasts.
The last writers' strike in 2007-8 went for 100 days, costing the Californian economy more than $3 billion, leaving networks nothing but news, sport, and unscripted reality. So as the Hollywood standoff sets in, how does this episode end?
Entertainment correspondent Hyla joins us now. Hey Hyla, how long until this really starts to hurt? Surely there are some seasons already in the bag?
Oh, this is starting to hurt immediately right now. I mean, I guess it depends where you are on your schedule. If you are a show that hasn't debuted yet, then you still have some time. But if you're a show that's on television now or just wrapped up, chances are you're in pre-production or production, which requires writers, which means your production is going to stop immediately today.
Well, we've heard some of the shows and movies that may be affected. What are some others that you can tell us?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the late night talk shows. And then some of your bigger, more scripted shows, you know, House of Dragon, for example, all their scripts are in. But that's a show that often takes rewrites. And if they can't change a single word or letter on a script, chances are that production's also going to be delayed.
I was looking into it today. So minimum rates are from around $4 to $5 grand a week for the writers. So how dire is it for them?
Because seasons have been shortened, before you would have a show that could have like 22 episodes. Now there's like 8, 9, or 10, and that's not really enough money to be able to hold you over for an entire year. It's not a career. And what's essentially happened is writers have kind of become part of the gig economy, like an Uber driver. There's no guarantee for health benefits. There's no guarantee for your next job. And it's just not a very stable working environment. And this is coming from these studios and executives who are making tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. There's no reason that they can't carve out some money and some guarantees for these writers.
I remember that writer's strike in 2007-8. And the impact was huge. In fact, weirdly, it was good for some shows in Australia because they got on TV because American shows weren't filling the schedule. It was just chaos, the stuff that it was doing. But this is a very different world, it seems. Streaming has changed the game. You mentioned shorter series. That's very different. Reality TV is, especially on free-to-air TV, just a behemoth. It takes over most of the schedule. Do writers have the same leverage now in this environment that they did back then, you think?
Pick one of your favorite shows. Chances are it has fantastic writers on it. So I would say, yes, they do have some leverage, but technology is changing. The landscape is changing. One of the big contentious points is that they don't want to allow studios to use any artificial intelligence to help write a show.
Well, tell us about AI. Are they really worried about it? I input some things into AI and it gets back horrible things. Will the next Friends reunion be written by a robot?
Hey, it's all about the future. Is it imperfect today? Of course it is. Same way that, like, you know, fake burgers were not that tasty 5 years ago, but an Impossible Burger is pretty good, right? And so you have to negotiate for the future. What is AI going to look like in 5-10 years? And at the rate that it's accelerating, it could definitely impact shows for sure.
But on the upside, when they do that Friends reunion, a writer won't actually have to write it.
Or eat a real hamburger.
Yeah, win-win.
Hyla, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.